Okay. Thank everyone who's played a part and everyone who's spoken so far tonight. It's been an incredible evening, and the band, and we're going to share a little bit and maybe give you some hope. I'd like Alta to share as well our story, how we started, and then we'll take it from there and wrap it up and actually listen to that and see what you can learn out of it, right? In your business as you grow. Because every time somebody shares, they've had things they've overcome and all that could help you. So I'd like to let Alta share with you. Love you, my darling. That's exciting. We've been together, 56 years. That's exciting. Before I hand over to Alta, I want you all to listen. Let everyone just settle out. I just want to share something with you. Okay, it's actually a lesson to everybody. Okay? Alta is totally herself. She's totally natural. She looks beautiful, no makeup, no hair color or anything. And I love her for that.
Oh, man. That's not very nice. When we started this business, actually the date was in 23rd of August, 1973. Long, long time ago. We didn't know when we came to look at this opportunity that this is what we're going to be doing for the rest of our lives. After we got married, we moved to the farm, and I never had an 8-to-5 job, and we had 3 children at the time when we came and looked at this opportunity. So we really struggled financially a lot. The house that we had was a rented house. We used credit, we had a lot of credit. We owed a lot of people money. So we were in debt. So when we looked at this opportunity, we really, really needed it. And it feels like yesterday when we actually went, when our sponsor invited us to go and have a look at this opportunity, that we weren't quite, I was very excited immediately. Charlie was, I don't know if he was that excited, but the person who did the presentation that evening came straight to me. I don't know why, straight to me, not to Charlie, straight to me, and he said to me, if I gave you tonight 16,000 Rand, what would you do with it? And I couldn't tell him. Most probably we were dream dead. We didn't think that we would ever achieve all these wonderful things that other people were achieving. We were very, very down-to-earth people. We still are today. So we looked at this opportunity, and we actually got started. We weren't 90-day wonders. It didn't just happen overnight. But we just, every day, we started doing it. A lot of people said we were crazy. My own parents. I'll never forget my dad. Another company, just before we saw this opportunity, went bankrupt. And he actually saw this clip in a newspaper, and he showed us that this is not the business we should be in, And a lot of our friends said we were crazy, But being stubborn, we just ignored it. We invested in the business. It cost 1,900 those days to get started. And people told him, how are you going to get your money back? And he said, well, you're going to lose all your money. So Charlie showed him the products, and some of them bought some of the products, and he told him, well, we're not going to lose all our money. I mean, you've just bought something, And then, the person who showed us the business quit. He actually tried to get us out of the business, And Charlie told him, well, we've invested, we can't. We've got to pay the money back. We borrowed the money to get started. We had to pay them the bank back, So how can we quit? We've got to make it work, So he left, and we had to sink or swim. And I think that was a very good thing for us. We had to find ways to make the business work. And we slowly started the business. We started inviting people. Every night we had presentations. Every Saturday was training. we didn't miss a thing, because we had to really do something. And we got started, and people joined us, and the business started working for us, So if I look back at that, there's so many things that happened to us over the years in this opportunity. And when you look back at it, it was good for us, the way things happened, And today we've got fantastic people in our business. Our businesses are all over the world. And not because of us, we only build around our own little area, but people took it to the next country, and into Africa, Nigeria, Uganda. We didn't know people there, but our business are all over, and that's how this business works, and that's why I love this opportunity. You never know where it's going to go, You got started, and the people, you never know. When you show somebody the business at night, and they got started, you never know where it's going to go to, And the best thing for us, what we get the most out of this business is the people. If I can remember going diamond, we didn't invest in ourselves. We invested in people, And that's the way we are still today. We don't just spend on ourselves, we invest in people. And Charlie still does that very, very, very much so today. So this business has given us everything. It's given us everything that we have, the farms, the cars, and Charlie's got some very expensive cars that we pay cash for through this opportunity. People see this opportunity, I think it's just a soap little business. So it's a big business, If you can just believe that, I promise you, if you can just believe that, you can go far in this opportunity. You can achieve whatever you want to. We did, And if we could do it where we come from, anybody here could do it. So, we've done so many travels. We know so many people, as I said, around the world through this opportunity. And I just love it. I don't know where would we be today if it wasn't an 8-to-5 job, battling financially. We're financially free. We don't owe anybody anything. And just this business gave it to us. If we could do it, you can do it.
In 19, Alta and I had built a successful business because we worked hard. She was saying we went to meetings. The meetings were 80 kilometers from us every night of the week in Port Elizabeth. I'd be there as a company pickup, and she would be there as our little pickup. And it was a small little one, a little Colt, Mitsubishi, 1100 cc engine anyhow. And I'd meet Alta in PE every night. She'd find a place for the children. The youngest one was a year old. And we went to those meetings every night of the week. And then we'd drive home. And on the way home, that's before we had supplements, Alta would be sleeping on the road in her vehicle. And I'd carry on, and I'll fall asleep further on. She'll go past me again. And eventually we get home. You see, I don't think people understand, right? Every Saturday afternoon was training, 80 kilometers. How we did it, I don't know, but we did it, right? And then we built a successful business, and the company employed me as a national sales director in 1978, and then Alta wasn't able, because those days we couldn't build our own business, right? And Alta wasn't able to do anything in the business. I was vice president in 1981, and 1986, Alta and I were in the business. We left the company in 85. 86, we started off from scratch again. I think we had one downline leg that was active, and that would have been Newbury's one, right? Of which Krishna and Llewellyn and all the way wherever it's gone to. And so we got back in the field, and we worked hard. We sponsored people, and they dropped out like flies. And we're just really not... I've been working for the company and showing people how to build a business. Now we couldn't build it. Isn't that exciting? So I was bluffing people. That's a fact. And then in 1980, now it's all right working for the company, and you got a big salary every month. Now suddenly we're a distributor and we haven't got a big salary. And in 87, I said to Alta, I said, we better find a way to do this properly or else we're going to have to do something else in our lives. And I knew people in America who'd come to South Africa, a farrier, he shoot horses. And I phoned them up. I said, look in your yellow pages. I'm looking for names of people in this and this companies. They gave me a name of somebody. I phoned the person. I said, are you really active in that business? And they said, no, not really. I said, do you know anyone in Louisville, Kentucky, in that city, who is active? And they said, yes, and they gave me a phone number. And I phoned the people. And we started connecting. And went over to America in 1987, about June. Had no money, but those days, thank God, the credit cards were not computerized. So I could buy a ticket to London. Then I bought a ticket to America. They met me at the airport in Raleigh, North Carolina. We went to the weekend function, and I go into a big hotel to go put up my bags down. And I said, Lord, I can't pay for this place, you know. They said, no, go to the reception, come. They put the bags in the room, a whole lot of bags in the room, and we're off to the function. So that was my first weekend function, right? And they get back from a function at night. In the room, there are 9 of us. And these Yanks can talk. And I've been flying all the way from South Africa. I said, Lord, when are they going to sleep? And eventually, they 2 mattresses on the floor, double bed mattresses, 2 guys on the springs, 2 on mattresses, 2 guys on springs, 2 on mattresses. I'm not going to sleep with no guys, so I took a bedspread and I slept on the floor. Okay? And next morning when I woke up, obviously woke up late, I don't normally do that. When I got to the bathroom, the towels were like face cloths, wet. But you know what? That whole weekend cost me $15. Yet we learned a lot that weekend, right? We studied a lot, and from then I connected with these people. But the most important thing happened to me is a Sunday morning at a praise and worship. And I watched a band like this and all that. And they had a praise and worship session. I just went along because everybody else went along. And the guy had an altar call at the end. And I don't know why or how, but the Holy Spirit just took me forward. And I gave my life to the Lord that day. There we are. Okay. So Sunday morning I gave my life to the Lord. I said, Lord, it's your business. I'll do it, and what I see here, I'll take to Africa. And fortunately that I understood Africa, because I'm an African as much as what any of you are, right? And I love Africa. But anyhow, I was able to take what I learned there and Africanize it. Not, you see, a lot of people get things off the internet and they get this and they try and bring it here and it's all network. You've got to understand Africa. I can tell you what will work here and what won't work here. And some of you don't do it the right way, and that's why your businesses are not growing, right? There's one way to do it in Africa, and that's the right way. And that's why the Lord blessed us. Now, 87, you must understand, they virtually sold us up as bankrupt, right? They sold machine, tractors, a lot of stuff, right? So we were rock bottom. We could not have gone any lower in 87. I think at then we had no money in the bank. I owed the bank 200,000 Rand in 87. You can imagine how much money that is. And the bank manager was just a good guy. He took my word that it would work. And I had to keep reassuring him, it's going to work, it's going to work. And eventually it starts. The Eagle team, we started off in 1987, was in October. And then we started the business rolling. I want to share a couple of things with you. I made these notes a long time ago. Anyhow, we got back here, okay? And then Alta and I went to a lot of functions in the States. We never stopped there, weekend functions. But I want to tell you about one that I went on my own. Again, for some reason, Alta didn't go with. Maybe I don't know if we didn't have a finance or whatever, but I went on my own, and this function, they were going to have a big leadership on the Sunday afternoon. Now, I was not qualified to attend. It was like a dinner and everything else, and my sponsors took me to the room where this leadership was going to be in the dinner, and they had big round tables in, and there were like 10 chairs around every table, beautifully set up for this dinner. And they said, you get in there early. So I got in there long before anybody got in, and I got under the table with my notepad and all, and I listened to all the tips they were giving. Now, I sat there maybe for 3 or 4 hours that afternoon under the table, learning. You see, if you badly want it, you'll get it, you see. And that's what happened, right? So we really had a challenge in 87. I don't think any, Alta in 87, Alta would be off in one direction, helping new people start, doing demos. I'd be in another direction. And it taught us to sell products. We never took no for an answer. You know why? We couldn't go home if we never sold the products in our boot. I don't know if some people never bought again, it was not mad. The important thing is where to get the money. I sat in people's houses at night and they want to go to sleep. No, I'm not leaving. Simple. Fill out the order form. Would you like to pay now? They say, you see they don't have money? Hey, give us a deposit. I needed their deposit to order the products to bring to them. See, you do what you've got to do, but listen to what Ansi said. Ansi did an incredible session there on honesty and integrity. If you take somebody's money, make sure they get the products, right? God knows what you're doing. We have a living God in heaven, and He knows every hair on your head. Make sure you do it right, and you'll be blessed. And I think some people don't. I'll never forget one of the leaders in our group at the time, the company had an event at the Greek islands. And I think Alta and I won rubies at that time. And we were not able to go because we owed a lot of money and we needed to work our business. Some of our team were not excited we didn't go. We said, no, our priority is building our business, not running off after an event. And I'll tell you something about you're here on Sunday. I'm going to share something on a vision, how we got our vision eventually, but practically. I'll share it on the last session on Sunday. But anyhow, I'll tell you about coming back from the States. I'd seen out there on Jerry Brasfield's ranch a conference center, the way it was, and everything like that. And Alta and I started dreaming of having our own conference center on a ranch somewhere. Now, we had no money, so don't let money hold you back, okay? And we started getting the maps of areas. Every time I come to a town doing a meeting, people would say to me, hey, look at this. I said, don't worry, God will show us the right one at the right time. I didn't tell him we don't have the money now. You see, there was no ways we could achieve anything. And I'll cut it short and just tell you, in 1994, end of January, I had maps from that whole area where we lived. And I never looked at this property. Somehow I'd never seen it. And this one morning, I'm running late for a flight to Durban. And the Lord says to me, go and look at that map. And I opened it up, and I saw this property as clear as anything, with a wilderness at the back of it and everything. And I phoned our older son, Rodney. He was in the police at the time. I said, look at this map and find out who it belongs to. And then I was off to Durban. He went and looked at the property. looked at the map and contacted it. The guy had gone bankrupt, and the property belonged to the land bank. So we negotiated with the land bank, and things were taking a bit of time. In February, now in March, we were going to go to Disney World with our one son, right? It's all planned, and I was panicking. I said to Althea, we'll get this thing through before we go. She said, if it's of God, it'll still be here when we get back. Okay? And I took her word and we went. We came back in that April 94 and it was bought. Now, I'll tell you a funny story. Now, this might give you hope. Remember I said in 87 we had nothing, right? In 94, we paid, after she's well disciplined. She'd had money in this bank and money saved there and money all over the show. And we totaled the price of the property. Now, I don't know who totaled, me or you, 10 to 1 me. But anyhow, we paid to the land bank all these different checks. And they phoned us about a week later, and they said, you've overpaid by 36,000. Now, you see, that's how God works. We didn't even calculate properly. 10 to 1, I did the arithmetic, but I'm like William. I failed standard 6, I made standard 7, and failed standard 8 twice and left school. And I'm also dyslexic, so you're going to be very successful, William, don't worry. Anyhow, so Acres bought then, and I want to tell you what happened. We started selling the dream. Hansie, I think he came along and had a look, and a couple of leaders, I'm not sure who was there. And we prayed about the place for the conference center to be built. Now, there's still no money. They bought us now, but there's no money left. You see, now it's a conference center going to be built. And we started on January 95 to build the conference. Now, we're promoting the conference we're going to have in November, but there's no building yet. And it was a miracle, God miracle. That's why we had 2 bricklayers and the builders. Norman was one, and they had 2 assistants. November, we moved into that conference center. And Norman and this other builder built it. Norman was a fantastic guy. And the assistants, that's all. The material couldn't get there. There was no roads. And one of the roads people those days, worked for the roads, comes to me and said, I said, come and look and see if you guys can, it was a council road, can do this for me. And he looked and he said, council will never do this. And anyhow, we drove up to where the conference center was starting to be built. And by the way, nobody could bring the material there. They'd drop it somewhere on the road. We have to pick it up and get it up there. But anyhow, the building's only about a meter or 2 off the ground. And the guy, he's looking at it, he said, what are you doing there? So I said, that's a conference center we're building. And I said, we're going to bring young children there to guide them and all that, and for our business training and all that. And I said, people will come to know the Lord here. And I didn't know that, but he was a committed Christian. I wasn't aware of that at that time. And he said to me, don't worry, it will be done. And what happened is, it was just at the change of government, a new government came in, and they were going to stop the divisional councils, and there was no money to pay the guys' salaries, the whole council. So all we had to do was pay the salaries of all the workers and the machines and everything. So we paid that part of it, and the road got built. So it's amazing how God can turn a thing around and bless a thing. And Deborah, where's your daughter? Is she here? Oh, where are you? Hey?
Deborah, mother lady, is she here?
Where is she?
She might not be here now.
Not yet. She's in the business, but she happened to have come to one of those first youth camps many years ago. I can't even remember the year, but it's exciting how many people in this room, children were touched through that setup. So I also encourage you all, go out there and start believing in yourself. See, that's the biggest thing. Start believing you can do it. The next thing I want to encourage you to do, start looking the part. Start looking like a winner. Start looking like a leader. Be neat and tidy in your whole appearance, right? William actually touched a bit on that tonight, right? Decide to get fit. Decide to eat what... You see, people eat anything out there. I was with somebody today at the chiropractor, and this receptionist said, oh, she could never say no to coffee or sugar. I said, it's not your flesh that says I need coffee or sugar, it's your head. So the day you can discipline your head to look after your body and to exercise and do what you have to do, you're on your way. And that's important. I see a lot of people have made, Alta had a major challenge with coffee. That's why she and I stopped it many years ago. And also out there, what I want to encourage you, be confident, look apart, start. You're going to hear, you've heard a lot about attitude and self-talk, and you're going to hear more the weekend. Just the biggest thing is believe. You know, everyone told us we could not make it, it would not work, all the way. And you heard that, watch that video tonight, right? One mustn't listen to the turkeys and the pigeons outside there. They're going to try and pull you down. They're going to try and break you away. You see, you're going to understand something about life. If somebody's an alcoholic, okay, and they stop being an alcoholic, okay, and other people who still use alcohol will say, hey, have a drink, have this. You know, they want to keep them back where they are. You see, misery loves company. It's like somebody who smokes. I used to smoke. No, I didn't. The cigarette smoked. I was just a sucker. Okay? Anyhow, and every time I try to stop, somebody say, have a draw, have this, have it. Afterwards, in October 1973, when Alt and I went to a function in Maseru, there were only about 30 people there. A company, Jerry Brasfield, a whole lot were there. And when I looked at the successful people, now Alt didn't have a problem. I used to use alcohol, I used to smoke, I used to do all kind of rubbish, you understand? And I used to use a lot of bad language, right? When I saw successful people in the business, I said to myself, if I want to get somewhere, I better change real fast. And I think we all need to understand that we've got to decide to change to succeed, or else we're not going to succeed. And I think we're kidding each other. You see, some people say, well, I'm old. Now, I'll tell you a story. We had, Adeline was talking about Martha Bauer from Mozambique, that lady. You know, at Sun City, she was on a jet ski. Now, jet ski is like a motorbike on the water. And she was riding like a youngster. She was going flat out with this thing. And she was enjoying it. And I was telling Jerry Brasfield over the phone, I told him her age. He said, man, Charlie, that's not old, that's only middle-aged. Okay, because Jerry's 82 and I'm 80, and Alta's 74 years young, okay? You see, age is in your head. You see, if you get old, you'll start walking slower, you'll start eating more, you'll start doing less. And I was telling the receptionist, we were at the chiropractor this morning, that most people get overloaded, get weight. Now, God creates your frame to carry a certain weight. Now, you say, oh, no, I'll just load it on and load it on. It's like Africa, we don't care. You know, we buy a 1-ton bakkie, Okay, 1 ton pickup. We load 2 ton on the thing. And if a springs break, we say, oh, Nissan or Toyota or this one, no good. Am I right? Now, if your frame goes one way, you're saying God's no good. He created you. And while I'm talking about that, if you have a Bible, you go and look at 1 Corinthians chapter 3. 1 Corinthians chapter 3, verse 16 and 17. And God tells you there, this is the temple of the Holy Spirit. And in verse 17, he says, what I'll do to you, if you mess with the temple, I'll destroy you. It says so in the Bible. So it's up to you. When I read that, I get very sticky with it. So I think we really got to decide to go out there and decide we can do it and start looking the part. Thank God for Alta. She makes sure I'm always properly dressed with the right stuff on and everything packed. Already, what a blessing, right? We make up, we support each other, and but she takes care of things that I don't take care of, okay? So it's exciting. So you've got to take care of yourself. If you haven't got a partner like Alta, you better find yourself one, or maybe just decide to do it. You understand? But you need someone, if you're not neat and you're not tidy and you don't do that, you need someone who will keep you on track. You understand? Because when we're dealing with people, we've got to look the part. We've got to look sharp, look wide awake, smile, be positive, and never, ever show a bad attitude with your downlines. I want to give you one more tip. And this is what helped us in 1987 and 1988 this was. I'll finish Sun City still, 88, remind me. Anyhow, this one distributor, still in a business, used to say to me, how much was your check last month? And I said it was fantastic, and you wouldn't believe me if I told you. Okay? Years later, this person's a present team member. I asked him, I said, what do you think we were earning then? Oh, no, I thought you were earning 20,000, yet Alta and I were earning 2,000. You see? So never tell people where you are. Don't lie. I said, it was fantastic, and you wouldn't believe me if I told you. It's the truth. They might have quit the business, you understand? You see? Now, I want to tell you one other 1988 story. The company had a convention at Sun City. Alta and I were there with one downline. There were thousands of people there, right? And I'll never forget that Bill Binns came to me and Alta. He said, you guys must start doing it. He said, run the 330 and all this. I said, Bill, the way people use the 330 is a load of rubbish. They never build a business, right? And I'll tell you why. Those days, I think a 330 was about 30 rand to start a business. So some people would get 3 people in and sometimes pay the 30 rands of each one. And sometimes those people never even got to know they were in the business. Am I right? You see? And I said it won't work. And that's when the Eagle team, I'd seen what we saw in America. We started packing a kit. A kit to start in the Eagle team those days was in the region of 700-800 rand. But you got nutritional products, you got cleaning products, you got some personal care products in that kit, okay? And so you could use the products. And also, those days, the company was just that. I said, don't worry, you watch, it shall be done. And eventually, I think about 95, 96, the company started doing the kit. And we supported them. I think it's fantastic because we don't have to pack a kit anymore. Those days, the manual was about 75 rand. Our people had to buy the product manual as well, because it was part of our kit. But our business started growing, and then the company did that. So I'm excited that they got to start a kit now, not us. You see, so Don't worry if people criticize you when you're doing, as long as you know in your heart you're doing what's right, do it. Don't come and just do it. Don't worry about them. One day they'll come to you and they'll say, yeah, you were right. Well, they won't even tell you that, but they'll do what you do. You see, so it's important. So I'm a rebel. I don't listen to criticism, and I want to encourage you. Make sure you look at who you're taking advice from. Confusion could kill your business, okay? And you're going to learn a lot of practical things tomorrow. And I see, where's Keith? I saw you sitting somewhere. Keith Bosenberg? Where's he? Up at the back there. Your upline phoned me this morning, or sent me a voice message, and I contacted him later, just wishing everybody and all the people in that team. I know, what's her name, Paddy and Deborah out there, and I'm not going to mention you all by name, right? But he was thinking of you and praying about the weekend, so that's good. So I want to thank you about everything. Just go out tonight, have a good rest, decide to get up on time, and I want to encourage the leaders, those who have to have that test to get back in your country. Hopefully it's the last time that's going to happen. Hansie, by the way, congratulations, you buried the mask. Save me doing it. Somebody said, what you're going to do with your mask is hang it in a tree outside your house properly, and little birds can lie in it as a hammock and swing. If you love it so much. But you know what I said to somebody at the back now? I said, I'm not calling people dogs, but it's difficult to teach an old dog new tricks. You understand? And we have people we've worn. It happened to me today. I got out, where did I go? Some shop. I got out the vehicle and I was thinking, where's my mask? I told you. I said to Arthur, I was going into a place and halfway there, oh, where's my mask? You know, it's so much of a habit already. You know, now I've got to break the habit for myself. I got back into the car. I said, Arthur, I can't believe it. I got out and I was thinking, I've left something in the car. So go out there and, hey, it's a new beginning. We're excited. I know a lot of us have been praying that this thing's going to come to an end. It's a lie, okay? Everybody's made their choices, whatever you've done. But Alta and I are personally still vaccine-free. We can give the Lord all the glory for that, okay? And by the way, you can come to us any morning of your life where we live. Before 6 o'clock, we've already been up the mountain with the dogs and both with lights on our heads, walking in the dark. Woolen hats on. And this morning I went out with a woolen hat on here. Now I have a similar one at home. And I said to Alta, where did you buy that one? It's so lovely and warm. She actually crocheted it by hand. And it was genuine wool. That's why it was warmer than the stuff you buy. You understand? I didn't know that. I've worn it how many times? But because I'd worn that one now, this morning I wore this one, I could feel the difference. Anyhow, folks, let's go out there. Let's love each other. Share with each other. You've heard a lot this weekend, and tomorrow's going to be a home dinner. And Sunday morning, we're going to have a lot of exciting things happen, but the wrap-up is going to be how to get your vision going right. There's going to be a young people's panel, and there's going to be a couple of things going on, a couple of sessions, but we will definitely be out of here, I'd say, by 11:15 at the latest. Okay, so God bless you. Have a good sleep tonight, and we'll see you in the morning. Thank you.